Hello and welcome to a SMITE broadcast. SMITE match broadcast. I'm your host, Banderwalk, and I will be your guide through this match. Today we have a match between the blue team, which is Team Dignatas, versus the red team, which is Exertus Gaming. Now this is my first time that I'm doing a broadcast for SMITE. I recently started playing SMITE. It's been about a month in, and I'm working my way up to level 30. I'm currently sitting at about a level. I think I'm level 14 is what I achieved today. So I'm not the most experienced player in SMITE, but I am fairly experienced in MOBAs itself. I've been playing League of Legends and messing around with Dota for about 2 years now. So still not the most experienced player that did it at the absolute beginning of all of Dota or all of MOBAs, but am fairly experienced, so I know the general how things work and whatnot. We have a little bit of invade here from Exodus, but no fights yet. But I've recently started playing SMITE and really fallen in love with the game, and therefore doing what I did for League of Legends, which I've done a little bit of casting for it. So I'm bringing it here to SMITE because I really love how the dynamic of the game changes when you change the view from simply being in a overhead view to being a third-person view. So what you saw there at the beginning, both teams took the mid Furies here that are just gold and a lot of experience to help their jungler start out, and then each jungler went to different camps, with Hoonbats here being the Dignatas jungler getting the red buff, and Finner here the Exertus Gaming's jungler getting the orange buff. Those not new to, or those new to this, to SMITE, but are familiar with League of Legends, there are buffs in this game, with the buffs being red, orange, and blue, where red buff is just a damage boost into your physical and magical power. Orange is, and generally just gives you increased damage. Orange is a movement and attack speed buff, and blue is just like blue in League of Legends. It's a cooldown reduction and a mana buff. Bottom lane here we had support and an AD carry type. We had Cupid and a Sobek, but now they're going all the way to the mid Furies to hopefully pick these up, while we have a Guan Yu coming around the other side trying to see if they can't do something about that, but they're just going to ward him off. And why not, since it's a little bit of calmness right now. I want to introduce the team. On Team Dignitas, we have on the Cupid, Zapman. On the Sobek, we have Shadow Q. On the Hoonbats, their jungler, we have Lazi, or Lasses. I don't know exactly how to pronounce. He wants it pronounced. I'm just gonna call him Lassie. In mid lane, we have an Agni, played by the best, because he is the best there is. And on the far short lane, we have Antonelli playing the Chang'e. On the red team, on Exertus, we have Omega playing the Hebo in the short lane. In mid lane, we have Zeus being played by MLC Stealth. Finner, who just went back to base. Oop, we have a little bit of engagement here. We have Neath, who's being played by Barracuda, is running, and is going to be able to get away. think Sobek got a pull onto her with his charge, but did not seem to get picked up or a follow-up stun from Zapman. Finner, as I was saying, is playing by Andister, which are going to fight over the mid Furies again, but it looks like Hoonbats and Agni are going to be able to ward that off. And then finally, we have Dare to Care on support here, who is a sub for the Exertus team. A little bit of commotion here in the jungle. Hebo being able to pick up the best, but Best being able to get away. Looks like Exertus was able to pick up the other mid or scare them off of the mid Furies, but we're able to pick up some of them. So Hoonbats is going to just pick up the other mid Furies so that Finner cannot. The mid Furies kind of make or break the junglers. If they can keep them or the mids can secure them, they'll get a higher experience in gold. Like you can see here, they're getting a good number of those, but Agni's going to get very caught. Finner's actually going to fall down to an Agni ult, and there goes a couple of things. Neath actually picking up the Agni with a shot. Cupid actually picking up the Guan Yu. Neath picking up Agni with a Neath ult. Cupid, those both Neath and Cupid have fairly good sustain in lane, so they probably won't be leaving this lane anytime soon. It'll just be a farm fest between these two. They shouldn't really have an advantage over each other. Same thing goes with Chang'e and Hebo. Hebo's very evasive, but Chang'e has heals and her great passive for staying in solo lanes in that she doesn't actually have to go back to get anything unless she needs to go back for safety reasons. Gets bring forward. Hebo actually being able to go forward. Chang'e forcing out, or Hebo forcing out Chang'e's ult to protect herself, but being able to go back and being able to heal herself with her abilities. But she looks like she's pretty much safe. They pick up the mid Furies on the short lane side here, and Hoonbat's not quite picked up the other side. Finner might be able to move over there. Actually, Hoonbat's coming around for a gank, throws out his pillar, but Finner actually uses his ult to grab Hoonbats, but nothing is taken from there. Hebo actually diving the tower a little bit, but not going to clean up anything. And Hoonbat's going to try to look to go back. In mid lane, we have Guan Yu and both supports and the mid laners, the mages, in mid lane, but it looks like Sobek's trying to go back, so he's going to probably join Cupid or roam around the map as time goes on. Hebo picked up himself up a blue. Hoonbats and Chang'e are going to do the same thing. Chang'e now has her blue and is going to be able to return to lane and basically sustain for the rest of the time that she needs to be there. The new addition to Chang'e's heal, her 3 spell, being able to do damage, does add a little bit more to her burst kit. However, not to the point that, I mean, not entirely, or not that she's going to be the burstiest mage. She basically has her ultimate and her 1 spell to do the majority of her damage. I thought there was a little bit of confrontation there, but it just looks like Exertus going to pick up the mid Furies on the short lane side, and the Hoonbats going to pick up them on the Dignatas side before the red team can get over to the other side. Coming over to this lane side. Sobek actually catching Neath, and the Cupid ult actually going to be able to pick her up before she could get away. Finner coming in trying to pick up the Sobek to bring him back to the tower, but Sobek ult is going to make him untargetable, and he cannot be picked up. Actually, I wouldn't say untargetable, but he's at least CC immune. So he couldn't be picked up and brought back to the tower. Humbat's going to contest a little bit. Humbat's actually sitting at a higher level than the Fenrir at the moment. He's been farming just a slight bit more. Ooh, Humbat's I actually missed a kill there. Sobek actually going under tower. Agni going to be able to pick up this. Zeus ult actually dropped, but the pillar and the Agni are going to be able to pick up the Zeus even under tower. Flying over to the long lane here. Keep taking a little bit of damage, but he does have... Does he have lifesteal yet? No, he doesn't. He just has a Heartseeker to gain back health with. But he does have the Death's Toll, so he can gain health back with that. Fenrir, and there's going to be a small engagement over the mid-Furies here. Sobek going to be able to come in and not going to do anything. The Fenrir ult actually used, but so is the Sobek ult. Just going to catch him just a tiny bit, but they're just going to back away as the mid-Furies fall. Over in the short lane we have a missed one from Chang'e, but a hit 3. That's going to get Chang'e fairly low, but she's just going to get right back up. Cupid actually falls on the enemy team. Let's actually rewind just a little bit there. I guess we can't. Falls down to a 3-man gank on the top lane. Or the side lane, the left lane, to be specific. Sobek coming in, throwing Neath back, but doesn't, since it is a Sobek, probably not going to be able to do that much damage to the Neath. And just a little bit of a harassment. Humbat's actually looking to go in for the Chang'e, potentially. Humbat's actually looking to gank for the Chang'e, I should mean. Humbat's coming in for the mid-Furies. Hand of Gods them before Fenrir could even get close. Zeus going to look to pick up the other side, but so is Sobek. Sobek's going to pick up this side of it. And more gold advantage going towards Team Dignatas. Three-man coming to the right side of the, or the left side of the map. Fenrir kind of outside of the view. Not seen by a ward, but he's going to be back instead, just to be safe. Leaving Neath by herself. It is important that if she gets caught by Sobek, she will probably go down to the combination of the CC from Cupid and from Sobek. Since I am fairly new to this style of casting, if there's anything that people want to recommend me to do to get better at casting, I would love to hear it. Or if Chang'e barely gets back there, being back. We have a little bit of engagement. Neath has to use her ult. The Humbat's pillar comes out, forces everybody back. The combination of the Cupid ult and the Agni bombs coming in, being able to pick him up. Zeus not in a great position, is going to get forced back from the Sobek ult, but is going to be able to get away. Chang'e try and go for it. Chang'e does pick it up, but is going to fall to the tower and the Humbat, or the Hebo. Also, if anybody, don't have the rights to view just any video as replays, but if anybody has a nice replay that they would like to be shown on this map, like just an epic match between two teams that was already spectated in some fashion, then I could cast that match, and that would be greatly appreciated. And you can send that to me through PMs on Twitch or on YouTube, with Twitch being well, both of them being at the appropriate site / Vanderwalk. So either youtube.com/Vanderwalk or twitch.tv/Vanderwalk. One you was spotted there, and going to be forced out just a little bit. Zeus coming in from the side. Them coming around. Looks like they might be trying to force something with Hoonbats. Hoonbats actually in a very poor position. There being 4 people trying to go into him. The Cupid ult actually coming out to be used as protection for the Hoonbats as they go back. Hebo's actually going very deep into Chang'e. Chang'e coming back while she's on the tower, going to be able to get health back while Hebo's being forced back by the minions and the tower. Chang'e's not done yet. She's going to come in and possibly try to get another swipe onto Hebo, but Hebo wisely backs off. 3 other people are there at the tower. Chang'e's going to tank the tower a little bit to allow Hebo and Agni to get into position, and Hoonbat's able to pick them up. Finir and Zeus coming around the other side. Gonna come back. Finir goes deep in onto Agni, but he ults away, so Finir ults away. Gonna be picked up by the Sobek ult, as his ult is already down. And everybody on Team Dignatas is gonna be back, get some items, and be ready to head back out. Both of the supports by now have picked up the level 3 thing of Eye of Providence, so they can start to see other wards. So the warding game has started to be a contest. They're actually going towards the Gold Fury here. It's dropping very low. Team Dignitas is probably going to be able to do it. The Cupid ult used defensively to keep them away as they secure the last bit of the gold. That's 300 gold going to Team Dignitas, putting them that much further into the lead with a combined total of 4,000 experience and 3,500 gold in their favor. We are 16 and 45 seconds in, with the score being 10-6 in the favor of Dignitas, with the gold and the experience also in the favor of Dignitas. Finir, however, is coming around for a gank onto Agni, but he should just be able to get away with his dash ability. But the Neath ult comes in and is able to have Zeus's ult pick up the kill for Zeus. Hoonbat's actually coming in onto Hebo, with Chang'e following in beside him. Finir getting caught out just a little bit. Hoonbats jumps away. No more aggression coming in. Just a little bit of aggression coming in from the junglers. Neath pushing very far in on the long lane there on the left-hand side. Cupid's going to come back to ward her off. And Matt's actually coming in from the side, but is not going to have any aggression go towards him. Chang'e and Hebo actually into a small spat, but Hebo going to head back before any real damage can happen to Chang'e. There's still 2 minutes on the Gold Fury, which will be the next thing that's probably contested. The tower on the short lane side of Dignatas is actually taking a lot of damage, and Hebo might be able to push in fairly far here and do a lot of damage to it. It's already taken well beyond half. But Changa just teleports back and is able to come right back to clean up the rest of the minions. Matt's coming in from the side of Zeus. Now Zeus gives a little bit of damage onto Agni. Agni returns his own form of damage. And Matt's coming in on to Hebo after he just did a lot of damage to Changa. His ult coming out, the Neath ult coming in to get Hunbat's away. Hebo threes him actually in the wrong direction and is allowing him to get free. But Finir is actually peeking around the side. Could do something with his ult, possibly. But it's more likely that Changa can just use her 2 to get away, if all else fails. Zapman actually being able to pick up the Neath with his ultimate there. One final attack. A little bit of aggression going on to Changa, but even though Mbets actually spots the enemy team going this way, looks like they might try to do a little bit of aggression. Not so much. Mbets signaling that he's going to go to the other side, or that they see Hunbats and he's probably coming towards Hebo. Hebo backs off towards his blue. Well, Hunbats runs right next to him, but the level differential and the fear that other people will come and gank him probably scare him off. Cupid playing very aggressive on this left-hand side, but almost being able to pick up the Guan Yu. If he could land his ult onto the other side, he might be able to pick him up, but it's a little too late. As we already know that Zapman can actually solo. They're getting the Gold Fury again. This is going to be 300 uncontested gold. Now the red team comes over. Theirs is going to try to do as much as they can with the Zeus ult and actually pick it up. Agni is going to be able to pick up nothing. The Finir very low though. Hebo ulting in, taking very low. Guan Yu very low, going to probably be picked up by Changa here in a second. No. Hebo going to be picked up by the Changa. Zeus trying to swing around from the other side to pick up the Hunbats, but the Cupid being able to pick up a couple while also dying to Finir. Finir going on a rampage trying to catch up Changa. Changa picks up the Neath earlier and gives more to her killing spree. Just backing off from Changa. The Finir can't actually do all that much damage to her because just as soon as he sticks to her, even though she's low in mana, she'll just 2 away or heal right back up. As far as my play is concerned, I usually go with it being a jungler. So I'm learning from doing this, besides doing casts for people's enjoyment, I'm also learning how to do more competitive Smite. I'm still learning junglers. I mostly do Arachne, who I know is not very competitively viable, but I am trying to learn other ones that might be more useful, like Finner or Hunbats, or Hercules, or Tyr. I don't know if Tyr is actually very applicable in the jungle. Competitively speaking, I know he works in the jungle. He certainly works in the jungle. But any matches that I can see will add to that. Chang'e actually getting attacked here. Finner actually getting attacked here as well as he tries to go around to get a little bit of engagement. Agni coming around to see if he can't pick up who was in mid lane, but the Guan Yu just backs off and Agni just starts clearing his lane. On the blue side, we have Chang'e, and actually, Hunbat's coming in very deep onto Finner, at least deep into enemy jungle. They're starting to group up. I have 4 here on the left-hand side. They might be mounting to go towards the Fire Giant. It is warded up for them. And it would be about time that they could start trying to make a go for it. Cupid actually getting Neith fairly low, and is he going to be able to pick her up? No. Neith ult comes in. The Hunbat's ult is going to be able to ward mostly anybody out. Guan Yu's not actually has any damage to do anything with. Zeus ult comes in, forcing everybody backwards. Stuns the Agni with his detonate charge. Sobek ult comes in, going to try to pick up the Neith. Not going to actually be close enough to pick it up. Guan Yu actually picked up by Cupid, as is Sobek by the Neith. Neith looking very low. Cupid actually picking up Finner. Is he going to be able to pick up Hebo as well? Who gets focused on? Goes onto the Agni, but is soon warded off. The Chang'e actually gets her ultimate hit onto 2. Neith has teleported back with her new health pool, and is not going to pick up the Cupid even after the stun. We are 26 minutes in. The score is 16 Dignatas, 12 Exertus Gaming, with the gold favor in that of Dignatas, but has dramatically dropped compared to what it was before, as is the experience as well. Around, looks like Zeus is actually going to try to go in on Agni just a little bit. Agni is able to back off. Sobek looking to ward up the Gold Fury, as they're going to try to go for it again, probably. Agni coming around. They're going to be able to flank Zeus if they want to, but does not look like they're going to take that chance. Sobek goes over to the other side. Cupid actually getting cut off just a little bit by the Guan Yu, but is able to dash away. Finner jumps onto Sobek. Sobek's able to get that away. And Hunbat and Chang'e seem to be working onto this tower over here. Going to be able to pick up this Hebo, as he gets just a little bit too out of position trying to do this. They also pick up the Gold Fury and have a little bit of an engagement. Finner is actually getting away as much as he can. Agni gets ulted by Neith, but he beads out of that. And they do pick up the tower. Hebo and Chang'e do. Chang'e has actually rejoined her team, here to try to mount an aggression onto the mid tower. There's only 3 versus this 4, and they actually do have healing on almost everybody of some form. And that means they're going to be able to do this push in a fairly decent way. Sobek pulls the Guan Yu. Guan Yu going to be forced back with the pillar from Hunbats as well. And Cupid just lays on into that tower, hopefully going to be able to take it down fairly soon. And here the tower's going to fall. Throw back the Finir, who gets immediately eviscerated by the Dignatas team. But does not seem like they're going to mount onto the inner towers of Team Exertus, and is going to be able to just go back in peace. However, they do teleport back to their mid turret as to maybe make an engagement at the fire giant, trying to pick up that buff to help them push those towers. Currently, Cupid is doing it himself, using his lifesteal to tank a little bit, but this lava is going to make that a little bit harder. Cannot get around this rock. Sobek actually uses his ult as they start forcing an engagement. Hebo coming in, actually getting a fairly nice amount of damage onto Changa. Changa actually falling, but the Dignitas able to pick up the fire giant with a nice hand of God. Agni ult coming in, doing a lot of damage. Sobek's probably not going to be able to get out of this alive, but hopefully the Cupid can. Can he make it? The Zeus making a lot of damage, but Zapman being able to just barely get out. From that, Exodus Gaming able to pick up that very low tower, even though it wasn't much of a contest. It was going to fall at some point to minions. However, their top lane is being pushed in fairly aggressively by their minions, so if they don't watch it, they might lose their tower to that minion swarm. Trying to get a lot of damage onto that. Dignitas doesn't like this, going to start sending in the ults. Going to actually have their tower fall, but not before the rest of the team gets there. Finir doing his ult, going to pick up the Hunbats, who uses his ult to get out while doing a lot of damage to the entire enemy team. Zapman going in deep, going to be able to pick up, actually Changa going to be able to pick up the Neath. Hunbat's going to be able to pick up the Guan Yu, and they're going to work on this tower. That fire giant buff passive going to allow them to very easily take that tower, and probably this Phoenix as well. Zeus ult actually used to try to help take out this team, but Zeus is actually going to fall because of that, while the blue team destroys their middle turret. And actually is going to use this time to just go straight for their Minotaur, using all of their ults to do as much damage as they can as possible onto the Minotaur. Going to be able to pick up the Finir, who's not going to be able to do much damage at all, and this looks like it's going to be game in favor of Dignitas. Thank you all for watching this SMITE broadcast. I'm your announcer, Banderwalk, and thank you for watching.